Have you ever felt that sudden twinge in your arm and brushed it off as nothing to worry about? Maybe you blamed it on gardening too long yesterday, or perhaps that new exercise you tried at the community center. We all do it. Ignore those little warning signs our bodies send us. But what if I told you that seemingly innocent pain could be your body desperately trying to tell you something critical? Hello there. I'm so glad you've joined me today. Those little aches and pains we experience as we age, especially those strange twinges in our arm, they're not always what they seem. And ignoring them? Well, that could be a decision you might regret for the rest of your life, however short that might be. You see, at our age, our bodies don't communicate the same way they did when we were younger. That sharp pain shooting down your left arm isn't just muscle fatigue anymore. For Barbara, a vibrant 65-year-old I met last year, that twinge was the only warning she got before suffering a massive heart attack while playing with her grandchildren. If only I had known, she told me from her hospital bed, that this strange feeling wasn't just from lifting my grandson. Heart disease remains the #1 killer of adults over 60, and yet so many of us miss the warning signs because they're subtle, because they feel like normal aging. That pain radiating down your arm. It could be your heart struggling, crying out for help in the only way it knows how. Every minute you ignore it could mean irreversible damage to your heart muscle, damage that cannot be undone, no matter how advanced modern medicine has become. If you're still here and this video is helping you, please leave a quick comment below. I'd really appreciate knowing you're watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Let's keep going. However, heart problems aren't the only serious condition that initially presents as arm pain. Did you know that certain types of strokes can manifest as weakness or strange sensations in just one arm? Martha didn't. At 72, she noticed her right arm felt funny for 3 days straight. Not painful, just not quite right. She kept it to herself, not wanting to bother her busy daughter, who was dealing with work and teenagers. When Martha finally collapsed at her bridge game, doctors discovered she'd been experiencing a series of mini strokes, each one causing a bit more damage to her brain. The recovery has been long, and her speech may never fully return. Time is truly of the essence with these conditions. Every second counts. While you're thinking, it's probably nothing, your body might be in the early stages of a life-threatening emergency. I don't say this to frighten you unnecessarily, but because I care deeply about you and your well-being. Too many of us have been conditioned to downplay our symptoms, to not make a fuss. But this isn't about being dramatic. It's about recognizing that at our age, these warning signs carry more weight, more urgency. Even something as subtle as a persistent tingling sensation that comes and goes could signal nerve damage or the beginnings of a serious neurological condition. These aren't things that simply get better with time. They're conditions that worsen when left untreated, often progressing silently until the damage becomes severe or even permanent. By then, treatment options become limited, and your quality of life hangs in the balance. I remember John, a 68-year-old who was an active participant in his weekly tennis matches. He began to notice a strange weakness in his serving arm. "Just age catching up with me," he'd joked to his doubles partner. 6 months later, that weakness had progressed to the point where he could no longer button his own shirt or hold a coffee cup. The diagnosis? A progressive nerve condition that could have been managed effectively if caught early. Now, he faces a much more challenging road ahead, one that might have been avoided entirely. What makes all of this even more concerning is how our pain perception changes as we age. Studies show that our nervous system actually becomes less sensitive over time, meaning that what feels like a mild discomfort to us now might have registered as severe pain when we were younger. In other words, that little twinge you're experiencing, to your younger self, that might have been enough pain to send you rushing to the emergency room. Our bodies are still sending the same urgent messages. We've just become less able to hear them clearly. So what exactly should you be watching for? What separates normal aches and pains from something more sinister? And what actions should you take the very moment you feel that concerning twinge? Those critical questions are exactly what we'll explore next as we continue our discussion about these warning signs and the steps that could literally save your life. One of the most dangerous aspects of these arm twinges is how easily they can be confused with everyday problems. That pain between your shoulder blades and spine, you might think it's from working in the garden or sleeping awkwardly, but it could actually be referred pain from your gallbladder or even your heart. Our bodies are complex, interconnected systems, and pain doesn't always appear exactly where the problem is happening. Take Janet, for instance. At 73, she noticed a strange heaviness in her left arm while walking her dog. Being an active woman who prided herself on her independence, she assumed it was just muscle fatigue and took an extra strength pain reliever. 3 hours later, her daughter found her unconscious on the kitchen floor. The doctors were clear. Had Janet recognized that arm discomfort as the heart attack warning it was and called 911 immediately, her recovery would have been much smoother. Instead, she spent weeks in cardiac rehabilitation, and her heart sustained permanent damage that could have been prevented. The frightening truth is that many serious conditions present differently in older adults than they do in younger people. While a younger person might experience the classic crushing chest pain during a heart attack, for many of us over 60, the only symptom might be that unexplained ache or weakness in one or both arms. Medical professionals refer to these as atypical presentations, but there's nothing unusual about their prevalence in our age group. The real tragedy is that many emergency room doctors are still not adequately trained to recognize these age-specific warning signs, which means we need to be our own best advocates. If you're still here and this video is helping you, please leave a quick comment below. I'd really appreciate knowing you're watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Let's keep going. Did you know that arm pain can also be an early warning sign of certain cancers? Tumors that press on nerves or spread to bones can cause persistent, unexplained pain long before other symptoms appear. Harold experienced a nagging pain in his upper arm for months. His doctor initially prescribed anti-inflammatories, assuming it was tendinitis. When it didn't improve, Harold insisted on further testing. The scans revealed a small tumor in his lung that was pressing on nerves that connected to his arm. Because of his persistence, they caught the cancer at stage 1, when it was still highly treatable. Had he accepted the first diagnosis and simply managed the pain, his story might have ended very differently. And we haven't even discussed how arm pain can signal serious spinal conditions. As we age, the discs between our vertebrae naturally wear down, but sometimes they can bulge or herniate, pressing against the nerves that run through our spinal column and out to our extremities. That burning sensation shooting down your arm might not be arthritis at all. It could be a compressed nerve in your neck that, if left untreated, could lead to permanent numbness, weakness, or even paralysis in severe cases. What's particularly insidious about these conditions is that many of them progress silently, with arm pain as their only early warning sign. By the time other symptoms develop, shortness of breath, dizziness, more severe pain, the condition may have advanced significantly, limiting your treatment options and your chances for a full recovery. Consider this sobering statistic. For people over 65 who experience a heart attack, those who delay seeking treatment by even 30 minutes increase their risk of death by 7.5%. Every hour of delay increases that risk dramatically. And yet, studies show that older adults wait an average of 2 to 3 hours longer than younger people before seeking emergency care for the same symptoms. Why? Because we tell ourselves it's probably nothing serious, or we don't want to be a bother. This hesitation becomes even more dangerous when we live alone, without someone else to notice when our symptoms worsen, or to encourage us to seek help. Too many of us make the potentially fatal decision to wait and see, or to sleep it off. Dorothy did exactly that when she felt that strange tingling and weakness in her right arm one evening. Living alone since her husband passed, she decided to wait until morning to call her doctor. By breakfast time, the right side of her face was drooping, and she couldn't form words properly. The stroke she'd been experiencing through the night had progressed, causing damage that might have been prevented with immediate medical intervention. The truth is, our medical system isn't always designed with seniors in mind. Emergency departments can be overwhelming, wait times frustrating, and some healthcare providers still harbor unconscious biases about treating pain in older adults. But knowing this doesn't mean we should avoid seeking care. Quite the opposite. It means we need to be more vigilant, more assertive in describing our symptoms, and absolutely unwavering in our self-advocacy. So what exactly should you do when you feel that twinge? What questions should you be prepared to answer when you call your doctor or arrive at the emergency room? And what specific words should you use to ensure you're taken seriously immediately? Those critical life-saving steps are exactly what we'll cover next. When it comes to that worrying twinge in your arm, seconds count. Literally, every minute you spend debating whether to bother someone could cost you precious heart muscle, brain tissue, or worse. So let me be crystal clear about the action steps you need to take the moment, and I mean the very moment, you experience unexplained arm pain, especially if it's accompanied by any sense of discomfort in your chest, jaw, or back, or any feelings of lightheadedness, nausea, or unusual fatigue. First, don't attempt to drive yourself anywhere. Call 911 immediately. When the dispatcher answers, start with these exact words. I'm your age, years old, and experiencing arm pain that could be cardiac related. Using this specific phrasing signals to emergency services that you're a high priority case. Too many seniors downplay their symptoms on these calls, saying things like, I'm probably overreacting, but don't do that. Be direct and clear about your symptoms. While waiting for the ambulance, if you have aspirin in your home and aren't allergic to it, take one immediately. Chew it rather than swallowing it whole. This gets it into your bloodstream faster, where it can help prevent clotting if you're having a heart attack. Then, unlock your front door if possible, and sit or lie down. Don't exert yourself trying to pack a hospital bag or clean up your living room for the paramedics. Those things don't matter, your life does. Frank learned this lesson the hard way. At 67, he felt that telltale pain radiating down his left arm while watching television. Instead of calling 911, he called his daughter first to get her opinion. Then he spent precious minutes looking for his insurance card and medication list. By the time his daughter convinced him to call an ambulance, nearly 45 minutes had passed. The damage to his heart was extensive, and his quality of life has never been the same. I was more worried about being embarrassed if it turned out to be nothing, he told me later, than I was about dying. That was foolish pride, and I'm paying for it every day. If you're still here and this video is helping you, please leave a quick comment below. I'd really appreciate knowing you're watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Let's keep going. For those of you thinking, but what if it's not an emergency? Won't I look silly? Let me ask you this. Would you rather feel momentarily embarrassed, or would you rather have your family plan your funeral? That's the stark reality we face. When William felt arm pain while playing with his grandchildren, he pushed through it for hours, not wanting to ruin the day. When he finally agreed to go to the hospital, the doctors told his wife that another 30-minute delay might have been fatal. William now tells everyone he knows, embarrassment is temporary, death is permanent. You must also prepare for resistance, sometimes from the very people who should know better. Eleanor, a retired nurse herself, knew something was seriously wrong when she experienced arm pain and dizziness. Yet when she called her doctor's office, the receptionist tried to schedule her for an appointment the following week. Eleanor firmly stated, "I'm experiencing symptoms consistent with a cardiac event and need to be seen immediately." Those words, and her persistence, saved her life. Here's another crucial point. Never accept old age as a diagnosis. If a healthcare provider dismisses your concerns as just getting older, request specific testing. Ask directly, have you ruled out heart attack, stroke, and nerve compression? Make them tell you exactly what tests they've run and what those tests have shown. If you don't feel you're being taken seriously, don't hesitate to say, please document in my medical record that I reported these symptoms and you have declined to investigate them further. You'd be amazed how quickly that can change the conversation. Remember too that arm pain doesn't always mean heart attack or stroke. It could signal other serious conditions like peripheral artery disease, which restricts blood flow to your limbs and, if left untreated, can lead to tissue death and even amputation. Alternatively, it could indicate bursitis or tendinitis, which, although not immediately life-threatening, can severely impact your mobility and independence if left untreated. The point is that unusual pain is always worth investigating thoroughly. For those of you watching who have already experienced a twinge but haven't acted on it, it's not too late. Call your doctor today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Describe your symptoms in detail, noting when the pain occurs, how long it lasts, and what makes it better or worse. Don't minimize what you're feeling. Be your own strongest advocate. We've covered a lot today, and I know some of this information may feel frightening, but knowledge is power, and my sincere hope is that this conversation empowers you to take immediate action should you ever experience these warning signs. Your life is precious to you, to your loved ones, and to this community we've built together. Don't risk it by ignoring what your body is trying to tell you so desperately. I want you to promise me something right now. Promise that you won't ignore that next twinge. I promise that you'll take it seriously, act quickly, and remember everything we've discussed today. Your life may quite literally depend on it. Thanks for watching today's video. Take a moment to comment below with one takeaway and how you'll apply it in your own life. We really do read and appreciate every message. If you found this content useful, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us continue to show up for you. See you next time.